The Rock of Gibraltar has a cultural heritage as diverse as its small but cosmopolitan population, and which draws on influences from both Europe, North Africa, and even further afield. Steeped in history yet in tune with the modern world, Gibraltar is justly proud of its cultural scene. Today we find out more about award-winning band Jetstream. This is Access All Areas.
I mean, for me, performing is everything. I become my real self when I'm on stage. You know, that's the real me. I'm really passionate about it. I live it. And I just enjoy every moment when I'm on stage, no matter if it's a small, tiny bar or the biggest venue at the GMF. I give it my all. I really enjoy myself. And that's the real me. I mean, I couldn't see myself without being performing on a stage or having a guitar in my hand or something of the sort. It's everything, really.
I actually am very, very introvert on stage. I'm quite shy, so performing I find very, very nervous. But there's undoubtedly a thrill of being on a big stage and having an audience sing your songs back or winning awards and things like that. So I can't say I get nothing from it. I certainly get a lot from it, but but I have an internal struggle. I remember one of our record engineers that we recorded with in the UK calls me the reluctant rock star, and I think that's pretty apt.
Standing outside your door.
So on December 2007, on New Year's Eve, I was rehearsing with Philip Valverde and a few other musicians for the New Year's concert, and Justin happened to be there.
When we started rehearsing through the month of December, I came up with the idea that I was basically saying, this guy can really sing. So knowing where I was, because I was in a band called Sabotage, and it was a good band, but we were mainly a rock band. We were doing things from Nirvana to Pearl Jam, and it wasn't very much widespread in the local scene. So I came up with the idea that maybe if Nolan wasn't tied up, we could do something.
So you know, he said yes, and we had Dylan from Melon Diesel fame on drums, so that was a pretty good start. But that's almost 10 years ago now, and that really came about as a as a bit of a side project where we really liked the music scene at the time, the current music scene at the time, which was the Killers. It was bands like The Verve and Razor Light, things like that.
We just got together, arranged a whole set list of songs, and we took it from there. So yeah, 2008 we started, and we've been there ever since.
Possibly one of Gibraltar's hardest working bands, Jetstream are celebrating their 10th anniversary during 2018. And although they've gone through various lineup changes during their musical career, the founding core members of Nolan Frendo, Justin Powell and Stuart Whitwell have worked their way up within the local music scene, tirelessly recording and performing both locally and abroad on a constant basis and jumping at every opportunity that's come along their way, making a name for themselves and performing at events such as the first ever Gibraltar Music Festival and 2017's MTV Gibraltar Calling Festival, sharing the bill with the likes of The Script, Roger Hodgson, Top Loader and Tiny Temper, to mention a few. Formed in 2008 and although originally started out as a covers band, Jetstream have managed to record to this date 4 original EPs. 2014 saw the birth of the first one, named Piece of the Puzzle, of which followed Flick the Switch, Sonic Graffiti and Live and Unplugged in the following years. Their latest lineup has seen drummer Tristan Donna and guitarist Aaron Ignacio join the band, and in 2017, Jetstream were awarded with Best Song at the Gibraltar International Song Festival.
Well, first public performance Jetstream was Summer Nights 2008. We actually worked quite a bit off from that, but that was our first performance publicly here in Gib. Yeah, you could say it was a little bit nerve-wracking because we didn't know what to expect from the crowd. But luckily it was a good reaction and everything went on from there swimmingly.
I'm not sure if there's a secret to any success of sorts. I mean, we just really graft in this room. We put in the hours, we work hard, we're really passionate, all of us, about what we do. And I think that is what shows, you know, when we perform on stage, we really enjoy ourselves, we're really passionate about it, people look at us and they thrive off that, they feed off it. So I think that's the secret mainly. People see us enjoying ourselves, and in turn they enjoy themselves. And when it comes to our music, it's the same thing. We put in our passion, our everything in those songs, and that is reflected and people enjoy it. So I think if you want to call it a secret, that would be it. It's that we're just honest and passionate and truthful about what we do, you know?
Why did we venture into originals? Well, I think it's a natural progression for any band. When you start to work together, you tend to, cut your teeth in covering the songs that that are from your heroes, from your, the people that influence you. I think it's the same in art. When you're studying to be an artist, one of the things you do is you study the masters and you learn that way, techniques, things like that. So for us, learning covers first was probably the best thing in bringing the band together, and we had a lot of fun with that. We really can't complain. But then we got to a point where actually we want more out of this band. We think this potential is there, so we started to work on new ideas, and eventually now I'd say we're pretty much doing predominantly original songs more than covers. And we still do a few gigs every so often that pay the bills, but our focus really is on our own material.
The first time I had an interest in music, I must have been around 14 years old. I was down at the beach with a friend, and he had this Walkman, and he had this local band there, and I just listened to this band all day that day, and I asked them who they were, and it turned out to be a band called Melon Diesel.
And it's only you and the things that you do.
I was blown away by the music, and I just thought to myself very randomly at a very young age, I thought, if these guys are doing it, then why the hell can't I do it? So that was the starting point, and from then on, obviously, it grew into other places, but that was definitely how it started.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the guys in the band, we're all very different. We've all got different musical influences, but one of the good things about Jetstream is there are some common threads. There are some bands that we go and see together, bands that we admire together. So Pearl Jam is a big influence on this band. Bands like The Killers, for sure, is up there. John Mayer, personal influence of mine. David Bowie's in there as well. And that doesn't mean that reflects in our music, but it's certainly in our minds when we're working on songs that we think, you know what was the process that these guys went through to write their song? And is that something that we should try and capture and apply to our workflow process, if you like?
Weakness causes you pain, indecision quick as despair. You're involved in this agonizing game. She's not playing by the rules. Onwards and upwards you struggle. So hard to sit back and watch. But I'm a spectator, helpless to act in your private turmoil.
The relationship between the guys is really good. We get on. I think in the last couple of years I can say that I've definitely made some very good friends. I've known Aaron for forever pretty much, and obviously we've all known each other from the local music scene.
The vibe that we have when we come to rehearsal is great. The vibes between all of us, the atmosphere we have outside of the rehearsal room, in the rehearsal room, on a day-to-day, we're on WhatsApp every day just making fun of each other, or some serious notes, we have to do this, we have to do that. It's like a family. I speak more to them than to my wife nowadays.
It seems to gel really well. There's a really good vibe in the band. There's hardly any negativity, at least when we get on stage. Anything that has gone on in the past or whatever, as there's always arguments in a band. It's like being married to 5 people. That all disappears, you know, and that's the most important thing. We know that when we get on stage, everything's forgotten, and we transmit that energy to the crowd.
We all want to move this forward in the same way.
The songwriting process for Jetstream varies. I mean, Stuart could have an idea that he's totally developed at home, he presents it to the band, and we work at it in the room. and that's one idea.
The way that I approach my songwriting really is kind of music first. I'm a pianist or a guitarist first and foremost. I struggle with the lyrics, but I tend to come up with really what I think are clever guitar ideas or good melodies, and then try and apply the lyrics after. And to a certain extent, I think it's partly because of the way that I work, that I tend to not sleep very much and have the song in my ear, one headphone in when I'm asleep, when trying to sleep in bed, and I've got a song on repeat, and eventually something will grab you. Eventually this theme will grab you, whether it's, you know, Starlight, like the one that was in the song festival, or something else. And from then on, probably the next few days, I explore that theme, develop it into a full set of lyrics.
Or I could come up with an idea on the acoustic guitar and we all chip in and develop it. Or maybe we're just rehearsing for a certain gig and someone starts playing a little riff or some chords, and it all comes from there. So there's no particular formula. I mean, we all work in different ways, and at the end of the day, the final product is the same thing, so it works differently.
I am the boy you used to know back then, when everything was easy. You were the girl that stood so very tall. You were all I saw.
I think it's important for bands to have videos. I mean, it's great to listen to a song, but a visual representation is good. I mean, you can see the band having fun in those videos. Also, a video may relay a message from that song, and you can interpret it that way. So yeah, it's great, and we do enjoy it. It's a lot of hard work behind the scenes to get a video done.
It's tough, but at the end, it's worth it. There are numerous things that you have to get together. First of all, you need to get more or less the storyline of what we're going to do, which normally Stuart is the one that comes up with it. But then you have to look for availability for everybody to be able to be there to do the video clips.
The creative side of the band, the visual side of the band, where we have gig posters in a couple of hundred of them we've done over a few years, and music videos and things like that, and actually the Jetstream logo, the website, things like that, are things that I've always focused on from a brand perspective. But I think when it comes to music videos and the approach to doing things like that, we want to do things that we think will stand out, that people will talk about. We'll have a lot of fun doing them as well, but we think, you know what, why not apply the same approach to marketing that I do for business, you know, day in, day out, to the band as well. You know, so there's a creative aspect, but there's also, this band has now got original material we think could take it somewhere. So let's make sure we have music videos and artwork and CD covers, album covers and things like that that are all of the same level. And what we do get is a very good response from that, very good feedback from the public.
Jetstream style is varied, I guess. I mean, we do influence ourselves by various bands.
First and foremost, it's rock, but it has pop roots for sure, and every so often we do go a little bit indie. So it's kind of in those three words where I think that's where Jetstream really fits.
There's a little bit more of an electronic vibe, trying to keep up with the times as well, which is quite difficult. I mean, music moves in leaps and bounds really, really often.
Coming into Jetstream, I knew their songs already, so the genre wasn't quite, it's pop. That's what I thought, because it's popular music. Everyone, you could play from any age. It's popular music at the end of the day. But obviously it's different types of popular music. It's popular reggae music, it's popular rock music, and a mix and match of everything.
In one word, I would say dynamic, because it doesn't stick to one genre. We actually tap a little bit of every genre that we can within our influences, but we don't, I would say dynamic is the word that fits it.
The songs are certainly starting to sound more alike, and we're certainly finding our way. So I think that mix that we've got now with big rock guitars, big vocals and electro keyboards is working very well for us.
All my life, wishing on a wheel of fortune, sacrifices that I had to make. Front row ticket for the midnight dancers, consequences for the bed we made, but only you could ever keep control over me. Hypnotize me while I sleep. All this time living with your darkest secrets, locked inside, you had the only key. Only you could ever cast a spell over me, mesmerize me while I sleep. All our lives we made our different choices, compromises that I had to make. Separate tables for the guests invited. Promises we'll never meant to break, but only you could ever keep control over me. Only you could ever cast a spell over me. Only you could ever help me cure my disease. Hypnotize me while I sleep. All this time searching for the final answer, missing pieces of the grand design, but only you could ever keep control over me. Only you could ever cast a spell over me. Only you could ever help me cure my disease. Hypnotize me while I sleep. Living it up in the fast lane is like rolling the dice in the tide. Taking a chance with the lights out, we're just rolling the dice in the tide. Living it up in the fast lane is like rolling the dice in the tide. Taking a chance with the lights out, we're just rolling the dice in the tide. All my love, wishing on a wheel of fortune, sacrifices that we had to make. All my love, wishing on a wheel of fortune, promises we never meant to break.
So in 2017, we had recorded quite a few songs that we thought were the best songs that we had so far. And one of the songs, which is called Starlight, has quite a catchy hook to it. We were getting some good feedback about it from people who had heard it. We hadn't really released it anywhere yet.
Stuart secretly put in a song for the Gibraltar International Song Festival, unbeknownst to us.
And actually, to be fair, I submitted the song and then I forgot about it completely. And then a few months later, I get a phone call and an email saying, "Congratulations, you guys have made the final." At which point I thought, well, it's probably a good time to tell the guys in the band that I've done this.
And it got to the final, surprisingly enough.
So on the night at the prize giving, the first prize that went up was for Best Interpreter, which is the Song Festival's award for the best on-stage performance. And so that's the first prize that was teed up before the big prizes come along. And they announced us as the winner for that. So at that point we thought, well, great, so we won something, fantastic, but that probably means we're not going to win anything else.
And when it came to the first prize, they actually announced the name of the song and not the name of the band. And I remember thinking for myself when they said, and the winner is Starlight, and I thought for myself, who's Starlight? Because it didn't click, and then I saw Stuart say, we won, and then it clicked that they mentioned the song name instead of the band name.
They called my name as a songwriter and the name of the song, and all we could hear was the audience screaming. And at that point there, I don't even think I have awareness what the band was, but literally ran on stage. And really the night kind of started from then on, really. We had a really, really good time, fantastic reception. The only problem is we had to then perform the song and our equipment wasn't with us. We'd already packed it up thinking we weren't going to win anything.
We were lucky enough to win. I mean, we were all ecstatic about it. We weren't expecting anything. It was just an experience for us.
But yeah, it was actually a very proud moment. A very proud moment.
It was fantastic to win that, and I think we had a tremendous night celebrating it. It's really brought us together as a band.
I remember being on stage, to be honest, feeling elated that we got in without expecting anything, and we came out on top, which was great.
Yeah, it was an experience, the one that I would cherish for the rest of my life, basically. It's getting a prize for a song that you've been a part of. It's great, yeah.
Tristan and Aaron were new members of the band at the time, so we really gelled that night, and it gave us some confidence in what we do too. So to get recognition for a song that you write or for something that you do as a band can really reinforce the confidence that you can carry on and do more and more and more. So it's helped us in many ways. In 2017, we had an amazing gig at the MTV Gibraltar Comedy Festival. I mean, we had a fantastic audience, probably one of the biggest audiences we've ever had, and our performance was really was top notch. We worked very, very hard at it. So luckily, from the success of that performance at the MTV Festival, we got selected. We were handpicked a series of, I think, 4 local acts that were given the chance to go to London and perform in quite an iconic venue called the 100 Club, which is in Oxford Street in London, where the Sex Pistols, Rolling Stones, Oasis, Eric Clapton, even Metallica have played there. So we got the chance to do that. We went over, and I think really we put on a fantastic showcase of our own material. So yeah, it was a fantastic opportunity for us to play in London, and from that really now we've gone on to having more gigs in the UK. We're playing in Madrid soon, we're playing in Belgium as well, and we want to grow from there.
When it comes to dreams and ambitions, I've always been ambitious, I'm passionate about this, and I've never stopped dreaming, I guess, but I keep my options open. I'm realistic as well at the same time. I know the industry is very hard at the moment, and it's very difficult. There's so many bands, there's so many outlets, and everyone's doing their own thing, and it's very hard to be original. But you never know, like I mentioned, we work very hard, we graft hard, and through that, you never know where you might be and who might be listening, or you never know who you might reach out to, or what might happen. So I keep my options open for sure. I'm sure the guys in the band do as well. So fingers crossed, see what happens.
Looking long term, I think really with Jetstream we'd like to give this a proper go. We want to capitalise on what we've done so far with the MTV festivals and playing abroad. We want to record a definitive album and maybe several of those, and we really like to get those things on a platform where we could then reach a bigger audience. So there's ambition for sure. We're working on the best material we've ever done now, which I'm very pleased to say that'll be out this year. But longer term, we want to just keep building on that and getting more opportunities. And I think we'd like to see the Jetstream as the band, the brand, hopefully having some success internationally. That would be awesome.
The local music scene is rich. It's been richer in the past. It's still rich. I mean, there's lots of local talent out there, especially young talent coming through, and there are established bands who constantly gig as well.
I've been around and seen the music scene change in over several decades. But I think right now it's very, very healthy. We've got some bands like Frontiers. So we've got some acoustic acts like Chris and Celestia. We've got rock acts in there as well. We've got some rockabilly, which is Undesirables, are fantastic. We've got country now in Gib, which is probably a first as far as I can remember. There's certainly been a reggae scene for a while. So it's pretty healthy. It's extremely diverse, which is surprising. And I think really, you know, it's in a good place to grow. Live music is a tricky thing where, you know, for the moment there's a big focus on dance music and DJs, but these things come around, so we're in a good place to capitalise on that, I'd say internationally, when, you know, the stars align for us.
The only thing I could put down is that there's not enough camaraderie, and there is a lot of envy in there. And bands shouldn't be like that in Gibraltar. We should support each other. But yeah, it's rich. There's lots of different styles. You've got reggae bands, you've got fusion bands, you've got pop rock bands, you've got solo singer-songwriter artists. There's a bit of everything. For such a small place, there's a lot of talent for sure.